A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 4 of Crypto Compass, where I will be serving your daily crypto breakfast. And today, oh boy, it is going to be a good one because we finally had some price action. Patience has paid off because we got the drop that we wanted for and we got the bounce that we wanted for. I want to use this opportunity to walk you through what happened and obviously what I'm looking for on the day to come. I think this has been a great journey so far. The competition is going well, people are trading, people are making profits. By the way, there is still chance to register, so I would recommend take a quick look at it. The link is in the description below. The competition is still running for 19 more days. There's $7,000 prize money to be won. People are trading, people are making profits, people are trying out the exchange. It's a lot of fun, and in accompanying by this Crypto Compass series where I'm going over the charts, what I'm looking for on the day. I think it's a really good addition. So be quick before the registration closes. Sign up, make an account, deposit 100 USDT that you can trade with in the competition, and you have a chance to participate in the prize pool of $7,000. So that is going on right now. It looks like people are having fun, people are trying out the exchange, people are making profits, and it's a good one. So let's basically just dive straight into the chart. And I want to start off with a short clip from yesterday's episode so that everybody is pretty much up to speed to what I was looking for yesterday. Using that, we have our second opportunity just below the low, although I'm not really that convinced it's going to bounce from there on out. However, it is still a potential. Using that, we have our... Alright, that was a really short clip for yesterday, so that should get you up to speed exactly to what I was looking for yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about how price was showing contracting signs of price action, meaning that it was stopping to rubber band. And that, as you can see, that is pretty much exactly what happened yesterday. So let me really quickly reproduce that. What I said yesterday, I had a small channel on that I expanded to slightly larger. Let me actually unhide everything. There we go. We have the technical analysis where I said okay, I am looking at this section initially, where afterwards you can scale up to this section and eventually to this entire section. And would you look at that? The price action has been framed amazingly well, where in the clip I said I am looking for a long opportunity around that midline of the channel, because there was confluence there's a daily level over there, value area low, and a lower time frame point of control around that level. Now it's already shifted up slightly again, but giving me a zone of confluence. And what in reality happened, I said this is where I'm most interested in. As you can see, we dropped, we had a small bounce, and eventually we fell through, and then we bounced on the second opportunity. And would you look at that, taking out this low as a really beautiful into the golden pocket, afterwards reclaiming this, and off we went. Beautiful trade. Let me really quickly dive into how did I actually do that, because I did say that if price breaks through these lows, I am going to be a little bit more conservative. I'm a little bit less confident in the fact that it might bounce. Why? Because it fell through that strong support already, and now we do need to reclaim that first before we can see further increases in price. That is why I took a more conservative approach, or as a matter of fact, to be totally honest with you guys, I did have a mixture of multiple entries, of which the conservative entry was the most heavy one. So here's what happened. First of all, we dropped down to that daily level, had a bounce, didn't really muster up the strength to really start bouncing further up. This is where I did attempt to take a long trade. But because of the strength of that bounce, I decided to close out on that trade early because it did seem we could not even muster up the strength really to just get that bounce going. And what I was looking for in that chart at the time was, let me really quickly navigate back to that section. If I can find it, hold on a second. For me, it is morning. It is a national holiday today, by the way. So today I'm not trading, but I will still obviously give you all my thoughts and update about it. Let me really quickly navigate through, which was... I am a little bit confused. There we go. I found it. So what happened over here was a single volume spike, and as we were crawling up, pretty choppy on the 5-minute time frame, by the way, but we can just simply see that the volume is really just dropping off. Really not could muster up any strength really to just bounce, let alone even backtest that latest market structure, which was the reason why I just really closed that long early. And I thought like, I think we are going to drop a little bit further, and I'm just going to see what happens. Literally exactly as I explained in the stream yesterday, like this is what I'm looking for. And, I made a plan, and that is exactly what I did. Made the preparation in advance, and we did drop through. After which we front run a lot of levels, not really taking out any lows. So for me, not a great trading opportunity, and thus leading me to my conservative entry. Backtesting actually that midline of the channel, expecting from that moment on a little bit more downside, which so happened. Afterwards, we took out this low once again. On top of this low, slightly front running that 618 level. And you might understand by now that I would have really loved for that level to be hit. Nonetheless, as I saw us taking out that low, I thought, okay, it cannot necessarily hurt to take a starting position, which is what I did. So at the very lows, I took a starting position on the following candle as we saw that those imbalances coming in, because we did saw longs opening up at that section, and then on that second candle I decided to have my first starting position, and then I added up larger on my main trading account later on, because as I said, simply following the plan where I would be looking for a more conservative entry. And if you would go on the 15-minute, what actually happened, we took out this low, right? So there's a few things to keep in mind here and why I did the things that I did, right? First of all, simply, I just said that it was part of my plan. Like, I'm not gonna catch a falling knife. I do want to see those support being reclaimed. And as we can see, there's a few things going on here. So first of all, there is potential for quite some rise in prices. Why? Because there are simply shorts, right? At the bottom, loads and loads of shorts. Loads and loads of shorts. Here we have 6 million shorts opening. Here we have 2 million and another 2 million. So just during this latest drop yesterday, right? We already have more or less 10 to 12 million shorts opening at market, anticipating on that breakdown to happen. That already gives me great potential to look for, okay, they could definitely get squeezed if we reclaim some levels, right? So that was the starting point. Then we had the price action that I wanted to see, albeit me with a conservative approach. We did actually bounced, beaten out this high or reclaimed this local high, right? Where this was a very local range, took out the lows of this range, starting to get back above, right? And then actually consolidating around that daily, but above the midline of the channel, which was the region that I wanted to see reclaimed should we drop further to the downside, right? This is where I compounded heavily onto the trade. As you can see, the position that I have, I did close my trade right now, by the way, because it was a day trade, right? So I'm now out of the trade. I did open it at 26,725. Average entry, which is literally at the exact middle of that channel, right? So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. When I make a plan and when I say something on YouTube, I do put my money where my mouth is, right? I do trade these kind of positions and do trade my analysis. Hopefully you have been able to follow along, and let me know in the comments actually if you also managed to take the setup, and if you also made some profits with me on that. Do keep in mind though that everything that I say here though is for educational purposes, right? So I would never stimulate any kind of thought to take trades per se, right? So it's your own decision if you decide to trade off of what I give you. Just had to mention that. All right, so let's continue on. reclaiming the midline of the channel where I compounded my trade. Then we saw another increase in price, right? Initially front running the VWAP really on the Bybit chart. This is really important because, as you know, I've changed exchanges, and this proves to me that BitGet is actually slightly better at the moment, currently slightly showing better results than the Bybit chart. Because what happened over here, we tapped that VWAP initially on the Bybit chart over here, right? You can see that over here. Swing failure, reclaiming, tapping that VWAP, but then consolidating underneath. And on the Bybit chart, we actually front run it by quite a bit, right? But however, and because we didn't do so, I decided to just wait and see what happens, because I do want to see at least that VWAP tapped on also the BitGet exchange, since that's the exchange that I'm trading for. So I'm trading the analysis and the chart on that particular exchange. Didn't hit. So for me, no reason to think that we're going to drop further on from here on out. And so we did. We actually busted through the level, and then we had that really, really perfect backtest. Right. So in this case, the BitGet chart gave me a leading example of what was to come next. Busting through the VWAP, actually backtesting it ultra brilliantly, allowing me to even get into a tiny extra scalp trade from there on out. Like I said, I like to put my money where my mouth is. So when I see technicals being respected, I went for it, and I added, or actually I opened a new small trade that I closed later on as well. And as we can see, this didn't happen on the Bybit chart. So these little details prove to me that the BitGet exchange is really well respected and is totally tradable throughout the day. And that is all I need, and it makes me really happy. There we go. Later on, we just smashed through that daily level, that local daily level, which marked out the top of this range over here. And ultimately, we busted through, tapping on the higher time frame, some market structure levels over here, tapping these highs over here, which is ultimately, this was for me very late in the evening, and my trade being a day trade where I just simply decided to close out of my trade. And there we go. We have the full story of a plan that has been made in advance, literally building, using the data that is being presented to us in each and every day. Not necessarily overtrading, but just waiting for that right opportunity. Ultimately, with that right opportunity, just netting literally 3% already on the week. So that is a beautiful, personally, I'm happy with 3% on a week, by the way. You don't get that by if you put your money on the bank in a year even. So 3%, perfect. I'm not complaining, even in the week. Although you can get much more in crypto. However, that's not the point here. So let's continue. That brings us to the question, what am I looking for next? Well, one of the reasons that I did close my trade is because indeed, look at the massive short squeeze that we had. Let me simplify that a little bit for those who are already a little bit familiar with order flow. We had a massive rise, huge, huge squeeze. Lots of shorts got stopped out. Which is beautiful to see. However, we haven't really recovered in terms of new participation. So since then, I didn't really saw any fresh longs opening or whatsoever. And also it being late made me think like, okay, you know what, 3% on the day, we haven't really hit my final target, which ultimately was these highs over here. it's time to close. I'm happy with that, you know? I'm content. I'm not getting greedy, and I'm simply going to close the trade because I know that the next day afterwards, you can simply get you can simply just get another opportunity, right? All right, so let me quickly advance to what I am looking next. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys, by the way. This is more of like a review episode, which is good because we have a little bit of time, right? Because overall, really not that much has changed, right? So yesterday I said like, okay, we're scaling over here. And if we break that range, then this section comes back into play. And that really remains true to today. So what we have done now, we have some sub-levels within this section, the daily being one of those. Let me just simply clean that up for a second. And as you can see, also very, very well respected on the BitGet chart. Just reclaimed that here, reclaimed the midline of the channel and its confluences. Then we busted through the VWAP, backtested it, made our way up to the daily, consolidated really slightly, and then busted through, coming up into, the upper, well, I would say, actually, I haven't really checked this. Let me just double check. Well, there we go. So it's more or less the point of control / value area high of this previous section over here, which ultimately is where the squeeze ended. And I closed my trade. And as you can see, overnight, we have drizzled down and we are now in the process of backtesting this daily level. In other words, this section once again. Now, so the thing is, once again, I would personally really like us to travel slightly higher, albeit I do agree that this high for just today does not look very doesn't look bad. So it actually looks okay. So this opens up the possibility for us to continue this range maybe like this today, right? As I said before, my mind is not really on trading today because it's a national holiday. It's Ascension Day here in the Netherlands. So that is why I'm going to take a day off of trading. But overall, I simply expect yet another range day where you could... Let me see how we can chop it up, because this is where it does become slightly more tricky. Well, in the end, what I would say is as long as we stay above this daily level, which currently is the case, although it doesn't look super strong at the moment, it would be really great if we can get another rise to challenge these highs over here, because these highs over here do not necessarily look very good. I would really like those to be have like something like a swing failure type of pattern. And that could provide a shorting opportunity where I would simply keep on trading the range. Right now, if we bust through, let's say even if we squeeze through and backtest it in a similar fashion as this, then I am obviously not going to short, and I'm going to leave my well, it would pretty much start to really validate my swing trades that I've taken over the last month or so in this region. So then we're moving up a time scale, and I would simply have to start making a new day trading plan. But obviously by the time that happens, then I will obviously have a new video out again. So I guess we're already going on for 18 minutes. So I really wanted to take the time to go through my trades, but I also want to give you a simple direction on what I'm looking for today. So let's draw some conclusions here, right? We've done the trade review. That's done and dusted. Hopefully that was super educational, and use it in your favor for future trades. And simply what I'm looking for today on Bitcoin. Ideally, I would like to see a rise in price, challenging these highs, where I would be looking for a potential short trade. If strength is shown, then I will not short, and I will let price actually bust through, me leaving without not being in a day trade at that point. However, it validates my swing trade setup. So either way, no matter what happens, I will continue to make money, right? If I'm in a short, I would be making money. But if we go higher, then I'm already in swing trades for much lower anyway. So in that regards, for me, it doesn't necessarily matter too much what happens. For day trading, I would like this high to be taken out so that I can look for a violent reaction where I would be looking to trade another rotation, at least to the midline of this channel once again. At the moment, the probability is pretty high that we get there as long as we hold this daily level. So having that said, if we start losing that daily level, then I would simply say that... Let me really think, because I do not want to make it too complex. There's various ways you could go about it. I'm gonna keep it just really super simple. If we lose this daily, then simply this midline of the channel simply comes back into play. The chance of us doing so is relatively high because, let's be honest, this was a fairly steep rise without, how to say that, without much market structure. There's also not that much longs trapped, for example, or something along the lines. So the decrease in price could be quite rapidly as well. There's not really that much support until this level again. So really, smashing it down really to some super simple levels. Key level here over here, 27,700, as it has been for the entire week already. The big level that I'm looking for on a day trading perspective. Currently, we are simply making our way towards there. So, we are having a current retracement over here, but I would say in order to make this range rotation complete, we would really need to start testing these highs. So that is what I expect to do. If it doesn't happen, if we lose the daily level, then simply I'm looking back for that same region where I was looking yesterday for a reaction once again. And yes, we are range bound. Yes, price is a little bit more quiet, but this can show you that with the right mindset, the right patience, and the right approach, and maybe a little bit of, you could say, the right guidance, which hopefully you're getting here at Crypto Compass, there is lots of profits to be made. There's lots of profits to be made, keep your head on your shoulders, make a plan. Yes, price is a little bit less fast than usual, but there's tons and tons of trades to be had ultimately, depending on your trading style, of course. I'm covering here mostly day trading, but if you're a scalp trader, then there's plenty of trades to be had throughout the day. So, I think this has proven to be a brilliant range thus far. In other words, subsection. For now, I'm simply going to keep on trading that range until it breaks. If it breaks, then the plan needs to be reviewed, or better said, a new plan needs to be made. And that is pretty much all there is to it. Use this information in your favor. Hope you've enjoyed this, and let me know if this is a helping hand in your journey. Have a really good day, and catch you all tomorrow.